Good morning, New York. This is the Jason Buford Show. I'm your host, Jason Buford. This is a family affair today.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Family
sir.
matters. Family matters.
Family matters. Alexander Buford,
What's up,
my
my boy?
my cousin. Yeah. What's up, brother?
Not much, man. Excited for this. Been talking about it for a long, long time. So glad to see it finally come to fruition. Appreciate you having me on, dog.
For those who don't know, we tried to do this last week, but we both had connection issues. Something was going on. Alexander lives in New Jersey. I'll blame it on that.
You should.
Uh,
Not here by choice. Believe that. New York
uh,
forever, though.
no. New York just happens to be a land of
Yeah.
expensive. It's like Las Vegas now.
Oh, God.
uh, but
Brutal.
but but we are here to talk NBA playoffs.
Let's go. Best time of year.
The
Love it.
best time of the year is right upon us.
Here.
Nothing makes me more grateful for the NBA playoffs than watching March Madness. Like, I love the
Ah,
fact that March Madness happens, and then you're like, oh, wait, this is not good basketball. And then NBA playoff happens, and you're like, oh,
it's
basketball.
like, is this? Are we sure this is the same sport? It's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, even at the end of the regular season, and then last night with the Warriors, which we'll get to, just the level of basketball is unbelievable. So,
It's
um,
great
it's
basketball.
literally a different sport from what we were watching, in March. So, very excited to talk about it.
It's funny when you like watch basketball where the shots are going in. It literally feels like a different sport.
Yeah,
Whereas
it's crazy.
one feels like cricket, the other one feels like baseball.
Yep. Yeah.
Last night, the Golden State Warriors beat the Grizzlies.
They
Um,
did.
I think the final score was 121-116. Let me look at that. Let me look at that right now.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Yes, 121-116. Golden State won. Um, I thought Jimmy Butler. Like, I tweeted that Jimmy Butler is the most outstanding normal player ever.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't do anything like spectacular, right? He's not this high flyer. He's not this incredible shooter. Um, he's got great feel for the game, and that makes his sort of game feel grounded a little bit. But man, he's got a knack of really turning it on when it matters the most. And he's got great chemistry with that group already. So
It's crazy how it's been seamless,
yeah,
seemingly seamless,
yeah,
right? Like I when you first get, I thought that him and Draymond would actually work well together. You know, you put like two assholes in the same kind
yeah. I
of.
was I was a little bit worried. I'm not gonna lie, but it's
But
worked out.
I think they're the type of people who recognize, like, it's like the Spider-Man meme, like they really recognize each other in a way
Totally.
where I'm not sure other people kind of recognize that, like, themselves.
Yeah, it's either
Um,
all out civil war or it's like we're best buds. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
There was never going to be anything in between,
yeah,
and Jimmy is someone who definitely would respect someone like that, and so it doesn't shock me that they're playing really well together,
yeah. No,
right?
they've been
I've
really
never
good.
seen, in fairness to Draymond Green, like I've never seen him, like, besides the thing with Durant, which more had to do with Durant leaving at the end of that year.
Hmm.
I have actually never seen Draymond, like, I guess Jordan Peele as well, obviously.
Jordan Poole, yeah,
Jordan Poole as well, yeah.
yeah.
But
Not
but
great.
not great. But I have never seen Draymond on the court like straight up just be like, I don't mess with this guy. Like, he's a great
Yeah,
teammate. He's a great
yeah.
teammate, like, on the court.
He's
I
ride or
think,
die both ways, right? I mean, if
yeah,
he's one of those guys who, if he feels like you're not playing with enough effort or not playing with the level that you need to be playing at, like, he's gonna get in your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna let you know. But I think with him, it's obviously a little bit complicated with his personality. But I think in general, like I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he means well most of the time, and he's hard on his teammates, but he cares a lot too. So it's kind of you take the good with the bad.
yeah. And Jimmy's the same way. He was
Yeah,
like, I thought he was unbelievable last night. The
yeah.
way he attacked the basket, I mean, he attacked like he was a gazelle. Like, he attacks the basket, he finishes everything. The free throw shooting was really good.
Hmm.
He made shots. He's a really great shot maker. He
Hmm.
remains a very good shot maker. Um, this was a Pantheon Jimmy performance. I felt like it's one of the best I've seen since
Yeah.
that Heat Bucks series.
Hmm.
But what was your take on it?
Yeah, he was great. I thought first off the efficiency was great. I think he only took like 17 shots, something like that, but he was living at the free throw line. I think 18 free throw attempts last night. And that's really the name of the game for him. That's what he was doing, with Miami when he was putting up those crazy games when they made the finals a couple years back. Um, it was interesting watching last night because the Grizzlies were kind of cross-matching it with Zach Edey on him, which made for like a really weird visual. Because Edey is a sort of hulking, lumbering big guy, and Jimmy was kind of, forced to kind of play around him rather than like take it into his chest every time. Yeah, I thought Jimmy was great last night. The court sense that he has is a really great fit with Draymond and Steph because Steph takes on so much gravity on the court just because he's moving all the time, and Draymond's always setting good screens and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's really made a lot of sense because Jimmy is sort of operating in that middle, kind of at the nail a lot, and then
Hmm.
Steph is sort of orbiting that, at all times, trying to find spots to get his looks too. So, yeah, he was great last night, and they really needed him to be because there's a lot on Steph's shoulders. I mean, they're pretty much playing with three guys out there who, frankly, don't want to shoot. They just want to pass to Steph. So they need Jimmy to be that second guy, and he was great last night, and we'll see if it continues against Houston.
I don't know if this is happening to you, but every single time I see Podensky,
Yeah,
I
he
think
was bad last night.
I think it's Clay. I think it's Clay Thompson, and then like obviously he plays, and it's like, oh, obviously that's not Clay Thompson, but they
Yeah,
but they have like the same like skin tone.
they do. Weirdly, yeah. Yeah,
Like,
the biggest difference is Pods is lefty and the shots don't go in.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Pods is lefty.
yeah,
Shots are never going in. No, but that's
no.
I Curry last night again. I mean, he actually didn't
Oh,
even shoot that well from the field, right? I think he shot like
amazing.
9 for 22, but the things that he the shots that he made were
Oh,
unreal.
the triple pump fake one was crazy.
Oh my god, it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
awesome. It was awesome.
yeah.
It
He's
never gets
incredible.
watching him never gets old.
No,
Never
he's
gets old.
unbelievable. I mean, one of the 10, 15 greatest players ever.
Yeah.
The defining player of sort of the NBA modern era in terms of 3-point shooting. So another chapter for him. He was great in the fourth quarter, and that's really what when it counts the most, obviously.
He's one of yeah. No, I mean to me, I don't know if there's a single player I've enjoyed watching in my lifetime more than him. I just like you stay up late, you watch him, and you are mystified at
Yeah,
the things he can do.
one of
He-
one, man. One of one.
his balance. When he makes a three in the corner and it gets fouled. I mean, that's happened like 100 times in his career, 200 times in
Yeah,
his career.
yeah.
You know
The
what I mean?
quick pass, relocate to the corner.
Yeah, I mean, he backs up.
Defensive scrambling. Yep,
Yeah, yeah. The
you've
defense
seen
is
it a million
scrambling.
times.
You've seen
Yeah.
it. You've seen it millions of
Hmm.
times, and um, it truly never gets old. Like
No.
I'm watching it, and I'm just like, he's gonna make it. He's gonna. I don't think he's
Yeah.
ever taken a shot where I thought it wasn't going to go in.
Yeah. Every time he shoots, it's like cash.
Cash. It's like
Cash.
this is going to go in, even if it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
It's like
You're surprised when it doesn't go in. Yeah.
you're surprised when it doesn't. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm repeating it, but like it's like, but like when he shoots it, and you're like, oh my, that's going in, and then it does go in, you're like, oh.
Hey, we've seen him do it too many times for us to ever doubt him.
I know, I
So,
know, I know. Yeah, he was great.
they're a threat, man. They're a threat.
They're a threat.
They're walking into a tough series here, matchup wise.
They're walking into
And
a
just
tough
energy
series.
wise. Yeah.
Thompson from Houston last time they played them, he was like guarding Curry, wreaking havoc.
Hmm.
It was. I think Steph will adjust.
Always. Yeah.
Always, I think he'll adjust.
Yeah.
Um,
It's going to be fun though. I mean, the
it's gonna
Rockets
be
have
fun.
given them problems this season. They have just a ton of bruisers, defensively,
Yeah,
and really competitive guys. I mean, Amin Thompson's gotten a lot of praise this year, and his brother is the same way. We'll get to him later on. But he is competitive as hell. He's not talking trash like Dylan Brooks maybe, and he's maybe not, doing some of the flagrant stuff off the ball that Dylan Brooks might be doing.
yeah.
But that kid is competitive as hell and one of the top, 1% of athletes in the NBA, which is saying a lot, obviously.
We'll
Um,
see how Green plays. I'm interested in
yes.
seeing how Green is, right? Like
Hmm.
Green's your number one guard scoring option, right? You have Senguin. I guess Senguin will probably be actually like the number
Yeah.
one if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean,
They
depends. I mean, Sengun, I guess Dre will catch him a lot, and that'll be interesting. But
that'll be interesting, right?
yeah,
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 that'll be really really interesting. Draymond on Seguin.
yeah.
I am cautiously, I'm cautious when it comes to this series. Like, yes, the Rockets have the bodies,
Hmm.
but the Warriors are putting Curry, Butler, and Draymond out there,
Yeah,
and man, Jimmy Butler in the playoffs against this. This is the type of guy who would absolutely swing this playoff series. Now
yeah.
they have Thompson, they have Brooks, they have Eaton, they have guys, they have bodies they can put on these guys,
Hmm.
and they're definitely deeper than Golden State is a little bit. I'm sorry, I thought Hield's minutes weren't good. Podolski's
He's
minutes weren't good.
terrible.
They're those yeah. I mean,
It's not good.
it's a long way. They're a long way away from having like Iguodala on the bench.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely been a different sort of group around.
yeah, Barbosa on the
Um,
bench. It's much different
yeah,
now. It's much different now. I think they're starting Draymond at the five, which I actually love. I love that.
hmm.
We'll see how that series goes. It's an interesting series. I
Very.
actually haven't seen that much of Houston this year. Like
Okay.
I've seen 5 or 6, 7 games, but
Hmm.
because I don't think people expected them to really be on national TV all that much, I haven't seen them as much as I've seen the Warriors, as much as I've seen the Lakers,
Of course, yeah.
as much as I've seen the
You can't
Cavs
you
even.
can't watch everything, you know. I mean,
Yeah, you
we
can't.
do our best, but
We do our best. We do our
yeah,
best. But Van Vliet's a big time player.
totally, yeah.
Yeah, we've seen Van
Another
Vliet.
guy competitive as hell too.
Yeah,
I mean, they're gonna give them everything they have. Um, I think it'll be interesting seeing Sengun react to. Obviously, I mentioned Draymond on him a lot. Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, they gave them problems this season. I think the last time they played, or maybe the game before the one they had at the end of the season, they held Steph to like 3 points.
yeah.
They just have the right guys to give him problems. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one. And Ime as well. That guy can really coach.
He can coach.
You
He
know,
can coach.
what happened in Boston is what happened, and we won't go there. But yeah, he really knows what he's doing. He's going to have those boys ready to go.
3 years ago, I might have gone there, but the angel on my shoulder is telling me that
Yes.
I want a job soon.
Off
Um,
camera, maybe when we're done.
but no. But the this is one of the best matchups I think of the playoffs.
Hmm.
Also, this is like Houston has to exercise some demons against these guys.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Now this is a different era, right? Like Houston having Harden, Daryl
Yeah.
Morey.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
mean,
different
we
era.
might get the Harden Warriors in the second round if they get bad, but yeah,
Right,
that's
right.
that's
That's
on the
true.
table in the second
That's on
round.
the table. Yeah. But you know, this is a completely different Rockets team.
Hmm.
But also, they want to exercise some demons against the Warriors. The Rockets fans on NBA Twitter are really pumped. I was talking to some of them last night. They're like really excited.
Yeah, and you know what too, and they're angry as hell. You want to know why? The Warriors are the betting favorites in this series.
Wait, Vegas has the Warriors? That's insane.
Yes, yes.
Hey, I mean, I
Um,
get it. I get it. I get it, man. Like, I have a feeling that Steph is going to adjust. We'll see what the next adjustment's like in
yeah,
Game 2, Game 3. But I
that's the
think he's going
playoffs,
to.
game to game. Yeah,
I think he's going to adjust in Game 1, though. I can see them going into Game 1, winning a 98-87 matchup. Steph drops 30 something. Butler puts the clamps down on these guys. I can absolutely see that. I can envision that happening. We'll see what the next adjustments are. I think it's a good
for
coaching
sure.
matchup. I think Kerr. Look, what's your take? What's your read on the Kuminga thing, right? Because like they do need another body out there.
Oh, dude, the Kaminga
But
thing is weird.
he's been, but here's the thing: like Kuminga's been complaining about the coach since last year.
Yeah, and he's still there, which is wild.
I
Yeah,
was at the game. I was at the game where have I told you the story when I was profiling E40 and E40 was complaining on behalf of
yeah,
Kuminga.
yeah. You told me. Yeah, yes.
On
That
the,
was the Jokic game winner game, right? Is that
yeah,
right?
that was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
youngest
yeah,
game winner game. Yeah, it's like
yeah,
E40's like complaining on behalf of Kuminga, talking about like,
yeah.
yo, how you gonna? He's like, yo, how's he gonna get into the rhythm if the coach keep yanking him in and out? I'm just like,
Yeah. It's interesting seeing the Kuminga sort of the discourse around him. It feels like the Warriors fans are now sort of on Steve Kerr's side of things, where it's like, man, this guy's not bought in. Like this guy doesn't rebound. He's not at it defensively. But it's kind of tough, like when you see Pods out there playing big minutes. Guy Santos is out there.
He
You
actually
know,
gave a good minutes the other day.
he was good last night for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. But like Kuminga is obviously better than him, right?
Yeah.
It just there were also there were some tweets last night I saw as well. Kuminga was like late to the bench when the game started, so I think he's just pretty checked out. It's kind of tough to bring that sort of personality, that kind of energy back into the fold, during the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. It's weird.
Yeah. Andy Liu, the Warriors world,
Yep.
that faction of Warriors
Yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Shout out to Andy. Shout out to
Real sicko energy out there.
Yeah,
Love it.
no. I know those guys are nuts. I love those
Locked
guys.
in. Locked
They're
in.
so locked in. Yeah. They've always been so locked in. They're the best. One of them tweeted, "Oh yeah, like he's fitting out." That LeBron tweet, fitting
Yeah,
in, don't
yeah.
fit it, don't fit out, fit in,
Yeah,
like being
yeah,
part of
yeah.
something special. Like Kaminga's actually literally
Yeah.
fitting out.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I think it's an interesting coaching. Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting coaching series. Kerr, I think, is a good coach. I'm always been less sure if he's a great coach, but I do think he's a good coach. I would say he's probably like a little bit better than Tibbs as a coach, right? And I consider Tibbs to be a good coach.
Interesting. I think he's a little bit. I think Tibbs is X's and O's better. I think Kerr has a better sort of way with the players, and can coax things out of some guys. And I think he's a little bit more gentle is the wrong word, but he just has a way of getting the best out of them without necessarily being a rah like yell and scream type guy like Tibbs can be. So
Yeah, I can do that. I don't think I've never seen Tibbs when on the Knicks. Like, it doesn't seem like he has issues with the players so much as I think he in general is an intense guy,
yeah, for sure.
and I think that processes or forwards a certain intensity that the team has.
hmm
You know,
Yeah. I mean, it was like that way in Chicago. Even the teams were built sort of in his ilk a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just in terms of
but
being hard nosed.
Kerr has something where, like, to be able to deal with Draymond for
Oh,
the 10 years that they've
Clap it
coached
up.
together, clap it up. Clap it
yeah,
up.
clap it up.
Like,
Yeah.
legitimately clap it up for both of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I know there was that thing, I think it was a couple years ago, where he like whispered to one of his assistant coaches, "I'm so sick and tired of Draymond."
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Unbelievable.
and then I remember in the post game he had said like, "No, actually, I just like disagreed with Draymond's point of view."
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
So-
Let me tell you, I guarantee you that is not the worst thing he said about Draymond over the past decade or whatever. So,
yeah.
it is what it is.
But look, you deal with great players, and you. By the way, it's really funny watching Draymond shoot a basketball.
Oh,
Look, I will
yeah.
never deny that guy as a defensive genius, and he's a Hall of Famer. I think he's one of the greatest. I think he's one of my favorite players I've ever seen in my entire life, just because I think when you watch him, you can really see how great he is defensively. Like
Yeah, you
it's
have to
not
watch
hidden.
him only for a whole possession.
And
Like,
then-
don't
and then
even
you-
look at the ball. Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
even
yeah.
look at the ball. Just watch him for a whole possession and be like, "Yo, this guy's a genius."
Yeah.
With that being said, on offense, he's like not
It's a
good
joke.
anymore. He's a joke on offense. It's really funny.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. I think when he got the suspension in the finals in 2016, it was at Game 6, I think, when he came back. He had like 30 some.
Game 7, yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
or
game
was
7.
it Game 7? Yeah, Game
Yeah.
7.
Game
Yeah.
7, he had like 30
He
points.
was great.
was
But
amazing.
that
Yeah.
guy is not here anymore.
Yeah, that guy's not.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Yeah, so he
Um,
the funny tweet from back in the day was Draymond shoots like he has a backpack on his back. Still
Yeah.
rings true. That's still
It's really-
still so good.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so good. So good. I forget
That
who
is
put that out.
unbelievable. I forgot who put that. I forgot too,
Yeah.
but that's
But
unbelievable tweet.
salute to that one. Yeah.
Where does Memphis go from here, right? So they play. They're in a playing game
Yeah.
on Friday night.
They play the winner of Kings,
Dallas.
Dallas. Yeah, yeah.
They play the winner of Kings
In Memphis.
Dallas in Memphis. Where do they go from here? If that is a win, where do they go from here? If that's a loss, right? Like, I didn't think they played bad. I thought Desmond Bain was really great.
He was really good.
He was really, really good.
I thought they played with a ton of effort last night. I left
I
that
did
game
too.
so
Yeah,
impressed with them.
yeah.
I mean,
I did too.
I
It's
really was so impressed with them.
a tough game on the road. Tough game on the road.
Tough environment. The Chase Center was up for it.
You know.
Obviously sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
Yeah, so in terms of where they go from here, obviously they got to see about Ja's ankle. He good job by him toughing it out last night. Was obviously not, the same player that we're used to seeing after the ankle injury. So hopefully he is good to go for I think it's Friday, right, when that game is. Um, I think either no matter what happens, even if they win, like they're cooked against OKC. I mean, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously the coaching stuff was a big, shake up, a month ago or whenever that was. So they kind of gotta, I think they need to come to grips with that. And I think it's gonna take them, an off season of roster building to sort of put the team that they want out there, around Ja and around Triple J. I thought Triple J was not great last night.
He wasn't good.
Um,
He wasn't. No, he
yeah,
wasn't. I mean,
they need more from him. Especially in the second half, I thought that he, kind of coasted a little bit. Desmond Bain really kept them in the game on his own. But they had every chance. I mean, they got some good performances from guys off the bench and stuff. But yeah, I don't think that they really have a shot against OKC here coming up if they get through.
yeah. I mean, I think that could be a sweep.
Yeah, it's on the table for sure.
Yeah, it's on the table. I mean, that could be a sweep or a five-game series. I could see Ja maybe winning one, but with a bum ankle, maybe not.
Yeah.
Memphis is. I still don't know if Ja is the guy that you build your franchise around. I think he's a great, great player. He's very fun to watch.
hmm
I don't know if he's the best player on the title team. I really don't care about the controversy stuff. Not really. Like I more think it's funny than anything.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, look, so annoying, but the sort of the gun celebrations and stuff, the archery stuff, that's been going on for like forever.
Like players have been doing
Like
that
players have been
forever.
doing that
Yeah,
forever, and it's not anything indicative of like what's going on in their personal life. So I get the stupor around it with him
yeah,
because
yeah,
he's got a history and it's obviously not great, but you know I, it's it's a weird one for sure.
yeah. I mean, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
In terms of him on the court, I agree with you that I'm not sure where he is in terms of if he can be like the lead dog on a elite team. You think of the great point guards in the NBA, and a lot of them are just, surgical in the pick and roll and stuff. And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but like his pick and roll numbers are not, great. They're not, he's not the guy who's like really operating and can get whatever he wants on offense. He's not, the efficiency numbers are not really there
Hmm.
for that. So, and I think that's a key part of, um, being a lead dog in the modern NBA. It's a pick and roll, pace and space kind of thing. So, I think he's got a lot of work to do still. That jumper's, improved, since he's gotten into the league for sure, but I still think he has strides to make. And obviously we're rooting for him because I think he's, one of the most talented guys and just an unbelievable athlete. So
They're using him in less pick and rolls.
yeah, this season they changed the offense, so it was
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, the pick and rolls produce 0.998 points per possession this year.
Mm,
That's a solid mark. That's not the mark that it needs to be,
right,
right?
right.
Like, that's not the mark that an elite one offensive option has.
hmm hmm
I
Like an
just
SGA or something like that. Yeah.
like an SGA. When you watch Brunson, for example, who I don't think who's
Brunson even. Yeah.
nowhere near a perfect player. I have my hangups with Brunson.
Yeah. We'll get to him shortly.
I mean, but when you watch him, that's like,
What he does. Yeah.
yeah, that's like the guy offensively for like a pick and roll.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean they've kind of changed the offense a little bit. I wonder if this is like a Derrick Rose situation where he is such a high flying player and such a dynamic player, but there's a question, and we didn't get to this question with Rose since he got hurt, and unfortunately, Ja is healthy, and so like we're getting to these questions.
hmm hmm
But I wonder if he's a number one option on a title contender, or just like a dynamic player. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
Like things
I
are
hear you.
that's different. Like one is like different than the other.
Yeah.
Um,
The
they
the the
surely
the thing with Rose too, like he won an MVP. So I think when you win an MVP, I think it's fair to assume that you can be the best guy on a contending team. The injury changed everything. We'll never know. I don't think that I don't think his ceiling is like an MVP ceiling, right? So
you could argue that Rose MVP is a little bit fraudulent. It probably should have been LeBron, but
LeBron, yeah,
people didn't want to vote for LeBron after the decision. Um, Dwight Howard's also like people always, there's that the hipster pick is Dwight Howard
yeah,
that year. But yeah, I mean, it just like I like watching Ja as a player. I'm just not certain, and this could be a look. JJJ, if he plays better, maybe we're not talking about this.
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna look up JJJ's numbers the whole year.
yeah. I think he had a pretty good year. I
Yeah, I mean he
remember
had a
they
good
they
year.
were they lost Ja for a period as well this season.
Yeah, I mean he had a
Um,
decent year.
yeah,
Like he's a good player. But I did not think he was good yesterday.
no, he wasn't.
It worried me. It worried me a little bit. We'll see how it goes next year. Do you think they missed Brooks a little bit?
Not particularly.
Not particularly.
I don't think so. I didn't feel like they were missing his defense really last night. Or, I mean, I
Right.
guess maybe against Jimmy it would have been different, but um, I think that Bane really stepped up, not only last night but this season on the whole, and I don't think that they miss him particularly badly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they just need one more guy to me.
hmm
I mean, you can
hmm
say that about a lot of teams, but they just something was missing this year in a way that alarmed me because I like watching them a lot. I've always liked Memphis basketball. Like they take the tenor of the city in a way that I think
Yeah.
is very interesting.
hmm
Um,
They
Kind of the
always
way that
have.
Knicks teams do that a lot too, and I
Yeah.
think Memphis teams do that a
Totally.
lot. They take
hmm
like the tenor of the city, which I think
hmm
is interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, I just don't. I'm just not sure about Ja right now. Let's pivot to the Knicks Pistons series. Um, the Knicks are the 3 seed,
hmm
51-31 in the regular season. The Pistons are the 6 seed, 44-38 in regular season. We kind of alluded to this last week in the Lost podcast episode.
hmm
What do the Knicks need to do to beat the Pistons? Right, like we should win.
Right.
We should win,
Definitely should win.
but I don't know how surprised I'd be if we didn't. Would you be really surprised if we didn't?
I would say that I would be much more angry than surprised.
Yes, me too. Me too.
Um, I would be surprised, yes. Um, I just think we're better than them. But it's the playoffs and weird stuff happens sometimes. And I mean, you look at last year, we everyone got hurt, so things happen. In terms of what we need to do to win the series, we need to make someone, excuse me, we need to make someone other than Cade Cunningham make plays. Um, I don't know if this is a hot take or whatever. I don't know if I've seen this really anywhere. In my opinion, Cade Cunningham is the best player in the series. Better than Jalen Brunson.
I think he is too. People have been like mad at me for
Yeah,
saying that.
yeah. Jalen, I love Jalen. Obviously, he's been a huge reason for why we are what we are.
It's nothing
Um,
personal.
no,
He's a
I
great
just
player,
I
but
just
one
think
is six
Cade
foot
is
six.
unbelievable. I just think Cade's unbelievable, and I think he's an ascending player. And I think that the size is a huge factor, especially in the playoffs. We know that Jalen's a big time playoff performer, but I just having watched a good amount of Cade in Detroit this season, just because in my opinion they're one of the best stories in the league. They won 12, 13, 14 games last year, laughing stock of the NBA, and they're now in the number 6 seed in the East. Pretty
You know they
amazing
can
turnaround.
you believe they lost 29 straight games last year?
It was unbelievable. Yeah, and Cade was a part of that group as well. But they've put a group around him that makes a lot of sense. And I just am a huge, Cade Cunningham sort of fan based on the way he's played this
Look,
season.
you can. It's his first playoff series, right? And
Yeah, that's
there's
that's a
always an
huge factor.
adjustment. Unless you're LeBron, there's always an adjustment, or
Hmm.
Curry or whomever. There's always an adjustment, right? You saw with Banchero, you've seen it with so many different players where there's an adjustment. Your first playoff series, right? Teams are really gearing up for you. The adjustments that they make,
Hmm.
they have, this isn't the regular season where they have a back to back. They literally
Right,
have like several days to kind of like scheme you.
right.
So we'll see how he handles that. But he's 6'7". He
He
can
does it
handle.
all.
He can handle it. He can score. I really like Cade a lot, and I'm
Clutch
not
player
saying
too.
clutch player. I think Brunson's a great scorer, great player, but he's also 5'11".
Yeah,
Like they can list
yeah,
him at 6'2" or whatever they list him, but he's like 5'11".
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, like, I don't know. Like, yeah, man, Cade could be better than Brunson. We'll see how they play. We'll see how
We'll
they
see
play.
how it
No,
goes.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes. I think we do have. If you look at the five best players in the series, we have like three of them, four of them
yeah.
maybe.
Maybe four, but definitely three.
Definitely three, right? Like
Yeah.
like if we're saying Cade's better, it goes Cade, Brunson, Towns,
OG,
OG,
Bridges.
Bridges,
Then you maybe get to like
Ivy. Then you maybe get to Ivy.
they won't have Ivy though. He's coming back from the leg. He's not back yet.
He's not back yet. They won't have
No.
Ivy.
Yeah. So then you're looking at like, Tobias Harris. I mean,
You're looking at Beasley.
Beasley, I don't know.
Bridges is better than Beasley, no? A little bit?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, not having
Yeah.
Ivy is tough, man. Oof.
Yeah. Yeah. He had that crazy broken leg incident I think in like December or January. He's not going to be ready yet.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if we'll see him maybe during the series, but he won't be ready for the start.
No, I mean, they said the hypothetical is round two,
Yeah,
um,
so there you go.
but doesn't look like, yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to play.
Yeah.
Which is good for us. I mean, this we got lucky here, right? Like I feel like if he is playing, I feel like if he is playing, this is maybe we're talking about this series differently.
Probably, yeah. I mean, he's one of their, I think he was averaging like 19 a game or something.
Yeah, 17. Yeah,
Yeah. So he's obviously a good player, but they're going to be tough to deal with. I mean, they play with a lot of pace, with Cade at the helm, obviously, and Bickerstaff has really gotten a defensive tune out of them,
hmm
which has been impressive to see. I think since January, they're like a top five defensive team, and obviously they rode that, into the playoffs here. So, and they played well against us here. They took 3 out of 4. I think you kind of have to throw out that last game late in the season because, PJ Tucker played like 25 minutes. Um, but they won 2 games, in the midseason. We beat them the first time around, but Cade was excellent throughout against us all season. So I think we're in for a dogfight here. They have an interesting group because obviously their lead dogs are younger guys. With Cade. We mentioned Jaden Ivey who won't be in the series, but he's one of their best players. And then around them is a bunch of guys who kind of been around for a while. Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley. Like those guys, I don't think those guys will be, scared walking into MSG. hearing
Yeah,
MSG, hearing Jason Buford screaming at them from the rafters.
yeah.
I don't think that's going to put them off at all. So,
I
um,
unfortunately cannot. I can't even afford that ticket anymore. Unfortunately,
dude, crazy.
but 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 no. I mean, I think Isaiah Stewart in particular is going to make a lot of enemies in this
Definitely,
series. It'll be very
definitely,
funny. It'll be very, very
definitely.
funny. Yeah, yeah, it'll be pretty funny to watch him. But no, I mean, like, to me, what the Knicks need to do. I mean, look, if it's a hard fought 6 game series and we win, but then in round two we're feeling it from that series, they would
Cooked.
have done their they would have done their job and we'd be cooked, right? Like
Right.
I think the Knicks want to have to win the series in 5.
hmm hmm
Like I think they'll win one probably. Kate will get them 1 game.
Yeah, yeah, for
But
sure.
if the Knicks, ideally, the Knicks win this in 5. Ideally,
Yeah. I mean, ideally, we win it in four, right?
right. Ideally, win in 4.
But yeah, no, I hear you. I
But
hear you.
it's like, but if it's a 6 or 7 like knockout fight, whew,
I think
I
if
do,
that's the case, it will say a lot about how far away we are,
yeah,
from really being. I don't think any Knicks fan right now can honestly say that like we're contenders just based on the fact that we struggled so badly against the elite teams this season.
yeah,
And against, teams with a winning record, I think played like just above 500 ball. So I don't think that we can be, considered real contenders, which is frustrating because I think with the roster turnover we had last season with the big trades we made, I think that was the goal in mind, right? To take us from a fun team, a good team, to a elite team that can contend for a title. And I don't think that's been been on display this season, which is frustrating
yeah. No, I mean it's there is a jump between us and the Cavs and the Celtics.
for
There's a
sure, no
big leap.
question.
There's a big leap. We didn't have Mitch in a lot of those games, and that's definitely a part of it. We'll see how Tibbs mixes and matches with
Yeah,
Towns and Robinson.
yeah,
How
because
mu- how how
they have
much
some
do you
good
think he's
guys
going
up
to do
front.
that?
Yeah, I mean he's done it a lot also since
Yeah,
since Mitch has been back. So we'll see it. I mean, he missed off a lot of games this year, so we haven't had a ton of the big lineup with, Towns at the four and Mitch at the five and OG at the three. Obviously, that's a humongous front line there that prevents problems, for teams on both sides of the ball. But um, yeah, I think Tibbs will feel it out. I think the early couple games will definitely be a little bit sort of use our jab, so to speak, just to kind of see what kind of footing Detroit wants to play with, how they kind of want to deal with us.
hmm
Um, but yeah, I definitely expect to see a heavy dose of Mitchell Robinson in this series for sure.
yeah. What's like? What is a lineup that you would want to see out of Tibbs? What's the final 5 minute lineup that you want to see out of Tibbs? What's our def lineup in the series?
Hmm, it's a good question. I mean, I think Josh Hart, in my opinion, it has to include Josh Hart. He's obviously a flawed player. Don't give me that face. Don't give me that face. He just in the playoffs, he just makes so many plays.
He makes things happen in the
He just
playoffs.
makes so much stuff happen, and I just think that it's hard to
The
not
biggest
have him on the
argument,
court.
the biggest argument I have with Knicks fans is about Hart. You know that. I've always
Yeah, I
argued
know.
about Hart.
I
I
know. I
just think
know.
like, man, if he was just like a little bit better, like,
Or a little bit taller.
or like a little bit taller, it's just like,
Yeah,
bro,
a little
like you're,
bit, or a little bit of a better shooter. Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean? It's like, bro, you're like 6'4" and you like, and you like shoot like Draymond sometimes, and then sometimes his jumper's like working well.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's just like you don't know what you're gonna get on offense. Tibbs plays him too many minutes.
yeah, yeah.
And he has to. I get it. He has to, but it's too much. Like if we have to rely on this guy for 46, 44 minutes and rely on him on offense, it
But that's where the Mitchell Robinson stuff comes in, right?
okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? So because you can play that big lineup and where Hart's not involved, and then you can kind of downsize that lineup where you have Towns, Hart, OG, Bridges, and Brunson, right? So
Yeah.
um, that's going to
So
kind of be the dance that Tibbs has to play a little
so
bit.
so go ahead. Go. My bad. I interrupt you. Your depth lineup is Brunson
Brunson, Bridges, Anunoby, Hart, and Cat.
and Cat. No
And
Deuce.
no, no Deuce, no Deuce. I just think that, and again, this is the playoffs, like we're saying, so adjustments happen, on a game-to-game basis. So it could change, but I think that the intangible value that Josh Hart brings to the table in terms of rebounding and loose balls and just being, frankly, an absolute prick out there, it
I
lends
did
it lends
not.
itself to playoff success.
I did not notice this. I didn't know this, but he literally averaged 9.6 rebounds per game this regular season.
I mean, it's incredible what he can do at his size,
It's
rebounding wise.
absolute.
Yeah,
It's amazing. It's
yeah.
nothing short of amazing. Um, that's incredible. I actually did not notice that until
He's a
now.
special, special rebounder of the basketball.
Yeah.
He really is. I mean, he's the leadership and defensively he's pretty solid. And I just think he's a foxhole guy, right? You
Yeah.
want foxhole guys in the game when it counts in the playoffs.
He is a foxhole guy. He definitely is a foxhole guy. Ananobi, uh, I think we kind of alluded to this last time as well. He had a excellent run to the end of the regular season. I think he averaged 24 or 22 a game in the month of March,
Hmm.
I believe it was. Can that carry into the playoffs? He has a defensive load now. I'm sure they're gonna stick him on Cade, right?
I think he'll probably get Tobias. I would think they'll start Bridges on Cade. I would
So
think.
Bridges on Cade.
Yeah,
I feel bad for Bridges if Cade goes off on one of these games, man. We're
yeah.
gonna be tough on him. Yeah.
OG, I think OG will get Cade in spots, especially in the half court. But I think to ask OG to, run up and down the court with a guy who's quicker than him, like that for the long term is I don't think it's the right decision. But that's just me.
So they're gonna run. They're gonna. I would say that. Yeah, I could see that they run with. I was thinking maybe they would do OG for length, but yeah, running up and down the floor with
I think
Cade.
in spots, yes, but not, on the whole, I don't think so.
Bridges on Cade, like that is the matchup in a way, right? Like that is the matchup for the Knicks.
Totally.
Bridges has to play really, really well for them, I think, to really separate from these guys. Um, what
All
do
of our
you
guys after Brunson have to be great, I
have
think.
to be really good? Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's the separation, right, between
Right. That's
us and the
just
Pistons. Yeah,
correct. Correct.
Brunson and
Correct.
Cade can play
They
each other
might like
evenly.
cancel each other out. Yeah.
Yeah, they can cancel each other out, but Bridges, Ananobi, Towns, they have to be great.
Yes. That's
Um,
the difference.
Towns on Stewart, right? Like that's another
Yeah.
thing. Towns
Fireworks.
fireworks, right? Towns on
Yeah.
Stewart.
Hey, Towns
Um,
impressed me. He's been willing to scrap it up down low this season. He's really impressed me with his physicality and his competitiveness all season. Hats off to him, man. Because I was worried about that.
I
Losing
know,
Randall and losing Devo to them in that trade. But he's come to play for sure.
I know he's had issues in the playoffs previous years.
Yeah.
I personally am very bullish this year on him in the playoffs.
Okay.
I just think he's talented, right? Like guys who are he's too talented not to be able to figure out his fifth time in the playoffs, like third or fourth
Yeah.
time in the playoffs, or whatever it
Hmm.
is. I'm gonna look right now how many times in the playoffs it's been, but
That sounds about right.
sounds right?
Yeah. I mean, if obviously recency
He's
bias,
got
right?
three. Yeah, he's got three. So this will be his fourth time in the playoffs. Um,
Recency bias. Unfortunately, last year he struggled. Even though the Wolves had a good run, he was not great. During that stretch, he had a couple games here and there, but on the whole, he struggled in the playoffs last year
yeah, I mean on the
with
whole he's
Minnesota.
right. Yeah, I mean in the Dallas series he's only averaging 19.6, 24% from three. The previous
Yeah.
series he was 39% from three
Right.
against Denver.
Right.
Um, these in general, I think his numbers were down. In general, I think last year his numbers were down because Anthony Edwards took a lot of control of the offense, which I think is a
Hmm.
good thing.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I mean, he hasn't quite had a playoff moment.
No.
as we always say, sports is iconography, and we haven't seen a playoff moment from him.
Hmm.
We haven't seen like a playoff series where he like was really excelled.
Yeah.
I am bullish. I think he's going to be really good this series, and I think he's a really talented player. I think he's a flawed player, but I think he's an exceptionally talented player. I saw a tweet the other day that said Towns is the greatest offensive player in Knicks history, and I was like getting ready to like, and then I was like, actually,
Nah, stop it. He's not the best offensive player on his own team right now.
you don't think he's like a better off? You don't think like just straight up offensive skills he's like better than Brunson?
No, I think that what Brunson is able to accomplish at his size is
It's pretty,
evidence
yeah,
enough
yeah,
at
it's pretty
what he's
unbelievable.
capable of doing.
That's fair. It's pretty unbelievable what he's able to do with his size. But I mean, hey, look, Towns is 7'1", and he's able to shoot threes as his size and put the ball on the floor
Yeah,
at
to
his
me, it's
size.
less about the 3-point shooting because it feels like everyone can shoot now, right? To me, it's what he can do in terms of play make off the dribble. That's really what makes him sort of a step above, your average, 7-1 stretch five or whatever. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
you
The
know,
yeah. Then you got Melo too. Melo was great.
that's my guy. That's my
Shout
guy.
out to the future Hall of Famer.
Always gonna ride for Carmelo, man.
Oh
That's
man, he was
yeah,
that game where, not to get off subject, but that game where he against the Heat where like he never even like got to the paint. He
yeah,
just shot jumpers the whole game, but like
yeah. He switched everything. The ball barely hit the rim the whole game.
the ball barely hit the, like it was a ratchet. He was a
Yeah,
ratchet that game.
crazy
He was
shooter, man.
no, he was a shotgun that game. That game was
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah, no.
yeah.
Prediction for this Knicks Pistons series. What do you got?
My my heart wants to say Knicks in five, right? My head wants to say Knicks in six. So I'm gonna go a little bit in the middle, Knicks in six, but it wasn't that tough. You know what
Okay,
I'm saying? Like last year's Sixers series went 6 games and it felt like every game was like on a knife's edge. You know?
the
I think
series was
it's
crazy. Yeah.
yeah, so I don't think it's quite as dramatic as that 6 game series, but I think it's a fairly comfortable 6 game series win for the Knicks. Fairly comfortable. What do you think?
I just don't trust these guys. I'm sorry. I just don't trust them. They're like,
Dude, that's Knicks fandom right there, baby. That's what it's all about.
I just don't
I
trust them.
love
They're
it.
like, I don't know.
Yes.
Last year's team, I trusted them. Like they were crazy and funky and
Yeah. Yeah.
ridiculous, but like I trusted last year's team. They were
That's so
tough.
funny.
They had an identity. This
The
team is
pause
like.
the pause was so good. The pause was the best. I just don't
I'm
trust.
gonna go. I'm gonna go Knicks in six, and it was a tougher series than it should have been.
Okay.
Like that sixth game in Detroit is like gonna be like a double overtime game, and it's like
Right.
we blew like a 20-point lead.
Right. Right. I mean, that's what happened in Philly last year. We needed that
Yeah.
crazy Josh Hart overtime three to get us over the line. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I mean, I could see, either of those, realities come to fruition. So let's hope it's 6 and 5, and we can be all smiles.
We'll see. We'll see, man.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, brother. I just like. I just don't feel it with this team, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I just
You've
don't.
you've been a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? You've been a little bit not as into this squad this season, really all year. You've been happy with the results in general, but I feel like you haven't really poured your soul into this group like you did last year.
Last year's group was my group. Yeah, last year's group was my
Yeah.
group, and this year's group, they don't quite have an identity. Their vibes are different. They're
The
just
vibes are
not.
way different for sure.
Yeah, they're just not quite the same. I don't think they. I think it took them time to really, really gel. Or, I don't even know about if gel is the right word, so much as like, seemed so sudden. Getting Towns was so sudden.
Yeah. It was a
It,
huge shakeup after a
it was
very
a
good season
huge
last year.
shakeup, and I don't think
Yeah.
we quite got enough time, fans and players got enough time to kind of like sit with it.
Yeah, I
Um,
hear you. I hear you.
I actually think they gelled on the court like decently well right away. I just don't think like they had enough time to like sit with it and kind of like really like get an identity as like a team. And that's huge. I don't trust them. I don't, a good friend of mine was just like, oh, how can you not trust OG? And I was just like, dude, like, like, what? I think what OG's suddenly gonna become
Well,
Scottie
which
Pippen?
which
Like, I
OG we talking about? We talking about OG with the bag,
no, we're
Bagman
talking.
OG, or we talking
I'm
about
talking.
OG?
I'm talking about OG. And a no bag,
Yeah, and a no bag. Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
no bag, and a
yeah.
no B.
No, but we've seen the bag now. He's got it. He out there moving differently.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I
We'll
hear you,
see,
man.
man.
I hear
We'll
you.
see, brother. We'll see. I would love for them to win it in five, and then we go into this Celtics series.
Feeling good.
Celtics play the Magic, by the way. Celtics in four or five.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I would love that, and then we go into the Celtics series like fucking ready to pounce on these guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like ready to really give these guys a fight.
yeah.
Pause. Ready to really give these guys a fight. But I
It's frustrating though when we both feel like the ceiling, right, is the second round. That can't be. That's not good enough, right? I
it's
mean,
not
that's
good enough.
not. It's not what we kind of signed up for.
I,
When we kind of blew up the team a little bit there. So
I don't want to make sports out to be this like, oh, if you win a championship it doesn't matter thing. Like we're not the 1998 Yankees. You know what I mean? Like it's not like we're not George Steinbrenner. It's not like if you don't win it's a failure type shit. Like that's kind of
mhm.
like stupid, right?
Yeah, I
But
agree.
like but like when is it going to be like, okay, like how do we win a title?
Right,
Like
right,
in this era, like when's the line, right? I think after this year, it's going to be the line where it's people are going to be like, okay, like how are we progressing? Like
right,
where is this relationship going, right? You
right.
know,
Exactly, exactly. Where is this relationship going? Are we
um,
moving? Are we moving in together? Right? Are we getting engaged? What's going on? Like, where
what's
are we?
going on?
How far are we pushing the envelope here? So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Like how far are
yeah,
we going with this?
yeah. Fingers crossed. Fingers
So
crossed.
so we'll see.
You want to get into some other series before we get out of here?
Yeah. So we both like Clippers Nuggets. You know, Mike Malone was fired towards the end of the
Still,
regular season.
still amazing. Still can't believe it.
Still can't believe it. New York native, by the way. They did our boy foul. Um, he had a beef with the GM, Calvin Booth,
Hmm.
and ownership said, "F both of y'all."
Right. You know what? You're both gone.
You're both
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
You're out. Yeah, no. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I actually think it's quite funny. Like it in the past, you would see like an NBA team like take one or the other,
Right.
and
Pick a
usually
side.
pick a side. Like usually be the coach. I feel like,
Nine
but
times out
this
of ten. Yeah.
but this time they were just like, no, both of you guys go.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of funny. I actually kind of sort of agree with them. Like their relationship was really affecting every
Yeah.
aspect of. They weren't even talking,
I mean,
and
all the reporting around that situation, made it seem like it was just untenable going forward. And Josh Kroenke, the president of the team, he basically said, "I wanted to do this in the All-Star break,
yeah.
but they won 8 in a row around that time, so you can't really fire the coach then." So it seemed like it was something he was waiting on doing, and figured that there was no time like the present in terms of the playoffs coming around.
Um,
So
Also, according to them, that they don't really like to pay for executives. They think they can just make another executive. So, look, man, like that's
look, when you have the best player in the world on your team, maybe that's a luxury that you
yeah,
can
maybe you guys
take.
could do that.
Yeah.
So they saw the best player in the world against the Clippers, who I am actually shocked how much I've liked watching this Clippers team.
Hmm.
I usually like never like to watch the Clippers. They always have teams to me that are talented, but like really not fun to watch.
Hmm.
That miserable bubble team who like did not want to be in the bubble, really
Yeah,
miserable
yeah.
team. Yeah, really super miserable team. Um, the Kawhi Leonard resurgence has been great. you can make a case.
Very surprising as well.
Very surprising. I had written before the season even started about how I wonder what Kawhi's legacy is going to be like. You know, is it a Bill Walton kind of legacy?
Right.
You know, as someone who is
good. That's a good take. Yeah.
Yeah, is and was a great player, but also like Denise, right? And also like Kawhi doesn't have the personality that Walton had, and so I wonder like who is Kawhi Leonard,
right,
at this stage, but he's been unbelievable.
He's been doing the Kawhi robot amazing at basketball shit that made him.
He's been freaking awesome. Like,
he was so good in that game against the Warriors late in the regular season.
Nah, he's been lit. I mean, you know, I'm looking at the numbers here. I mean, 21 a game. Shooting 41% from three.
But it's also been ascending late in the season. Like, he looks like he's getting back to, you know, the Kawhi that you know is one of the best players in the world. Honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, and he looks healthy. Like he legitimately looks healthy.
Yeah. And he's playing big minutes. He played 47 minutes against the Warriors in the regular season finale. When was the last time he's played 47 minutes before then? Tell me. I don't know. I've
maybe when Popovich was on the, maybe when Pop was his coach. Like seriously, maybe in the 2013 season or some shit. Yeah. Like he's been great. Like I am shocked at how back he seems.
Yeah. And Jimmy Harden, give him his flowers.
Harden's been great. Yeah,
He's been great for them. He's been great.
Harden's been great. I love Harden. I've always loved Harden, though. You know that. I've always loved Harden.
He's like one of your low key Jason's favorites, low key.
He's a genius. I think. I mean, I think watching him play basketball is like watching like Young Thug or listening to like Young Thug. Like it's like this. It's like you only can do what you can do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's like
anyone else tries to do this, it's not going to pop off. Yeah,
it's not going to pop off. Anyone else tries to do this, it doesn't look good. But you are just one of one in that time.
Yeah.
In that kind of way.
He can still fill it up, man.
He can still fill it up. He can still pass. He can still really like run an offense. Yeah, man. He's been great. He's been working hard. He carried the team.
Yeah.
He's been steady. He's been really steady for them.
Yeah. And good in big moments for them too. All season.
Good in big moments. I haven't heard a peep out of him and no complaints ever out of him this year.
Yep. And Ty Lue deserves credit for that too.
Ty Lue deserves credit for that as well. Yeah, absolutely. You know, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how he plays. We'll see the easy buckets he can get. I always worry that he doesn't get enough easy baskets. Like he shot I mean, who cares about field goal attempt? So like 6 for 16 in the regular season, but 35% from three, which is like really what matters. And then his free throw percentage is good too. So if he can still get fouls and stuff like that, you know, like that's I
mean, a pretty big part of his game is predicated upon getting to the line.
You
know, he that's how he gets a lot of his rhythm, in getting to the line, and that's how he, you know, is able to still play, you know, sort of at an efficient level, by getting to the line. So to me in this series, one of the first X factors is Jamal Murray's health. He was in with that back injury late in the season. He missed a ton of time. He came back for the finale, I think. So we'll see what kind of level he's at. Obviously, he needs to be, you know, a lead dog for them to make a push here.
Yeah.
You know, Jokic can only do so much, and he almost does. You know, but
if
they need Murray to be that guy.
Yeah, I mean, if Jokic wins this series, like,
no words for him.
Yeah. No, if he wins the series, I'm going to be like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But the Clips do have, I mean, Zubac's down low for the Clips. He's been very solid for them, and he's the kind of guy that you'd want to have guarding Jokic.
Yeah.
Right? Physical, another Eastern European, can move a little bit. Is definitely gonna go body to body with him. And it's gonna be a fun matchup down there, with Zubac and Jokic.
Is Bogdanovich playing? Do we know that?
Yeah, he should be out there for them.
Yeah.
They have a nice little team, Clips, for sure. Yeah.
I assume Ben Simmons isn't playing.
Let's not waste any time on him. Not great.
Oh man. Wait, did you see? I'm looking at his basketball reference. This is really funny. I'm looking at his basketball references, and one of his nicknames is Young Socialite.
Oh God, so cringe,
That is really funny. Young Socialite's great.
so cringe. It's a no for me, dog.
Oh my god. Norm Powell also
Yeah,
really talented scorer. This
yeah,
Clippers team is a sneaky contender. I think
yes,
sneaky,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
sneaky. Yeah, sneaky
They've been under the
contender
radar all season.
all season. The only way Denver wins is if Murray steps up, right? If Murray is like
Yeah.
really, really healthy
hmm
and is playing good and is
hmm
dropping buckets. We'll
hmm
see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. Prediction. Give me a prediction.
I am gonna go Clippers in 7. I think they get it done.
I want to pick Jokic so badly.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, a lot of times with coaching changes, right? I mean, there's usually a big swing to sort of another style of play or another rotation change. So we'll see what kind of differences we're getting out of Denver with the new coach,
I'll go
Adelman.
Clippers. I'll go Clippers. I'll go Clippers in 7.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go Clippers in 7. All right, give me your Rockets Warriors.
Oof, man, I honestly, this is one I thought about a lot based off last night. I just think this is the first time that these Rockets will be in this sort of environment, and I think the Warriors win it in 6, but it's a tough 6. You know what I mean? It's like it's a dog ass sort of matchup here. I think
Yeah,
every game's on a knife's edge. I think the physicality is going to be at the top of the top. I just think that this is the first sort of game, set of these kind of games for this Rockets group. Jalen Green, who knows what he's going to come with. Amen Thompson had a great season. Is an awesome young player, but this is his first time in this kind of environment as well. I just think that the trio of Steph, Dre, and Jimmy just find a way.
yeah.
I just think they find a way.
I think the Warriors win too. I think they just find a way. I think
Yeah,
they win. Yeah, I think they win in 6. I think they find a
yeah.
way. I think it's gonna be a really close series in 6, like really, really
hmm
close series.
hmm
But I think they find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clippers in 7, Celtics in 4, Cavs in 4.
hmm
Um,
With you on both of those. But
uh,
but one thing for people to watch out for, the health of Jalen Brown's knee.
that's
Okay?
true. That is true.
Keep an
That
eye
is
out
true.
for that. Keep an eye out for that.
Without Jalen,
Whenever a guy gets pain-killing injections in his knee late in the
that's
regular
not
season,
good.
it's not great.
That's not great. That's not
So
great.
we'll just keep an eye out for that.
Um,
And potential Knicks implications there too.
I would guess. I guess. Yeah. I mean, I guess Cavs in 4. I mean, Lakers in 5. I just don't see Minnesota like really competing with them that much.
Yeah, I just think with LeBron and Luca, it's just too much.
And
I just,
Reeves and
I like the Wolves a lot, and Ant is one of my favorite players in the league right now, um, despite his off the court decisions. Um, again, maybe that's something for a post podcast, the post game show.
yeah,
But yeah, I just think LeBron and Luca are just too much for them. So I'll go Lakers in 5.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like I was thinking about if LeBron has an extra gear, right? Like I don't know if you can have an extra gear at age 40.
I disagree. I think we've seen it already.
Yeah,
Yeah, that Mavericks game, with Luca crying pregame and all that kind of stuff. I thought LeBron sucked for the first half. I thought he
yeah,
sucked, and then in the fourth quarter, he just poured it on. He just poured it on. I think
yeah.
he still has that extra gear. That was an example of from what I thought.
You think he
Um,
still has
I,
an extra year?
I think he still has it. Can he do it for, you know, the duration of the playoffs, that I don't know. But when you have Luka Doncic on your team, you might only need it a few times anyway. So I don't know if he has it on a night to night basis in the playoff, but I know that he still has it in him.
He's averaging 24.4 a game. He's shooting so much better from the field than I thought he was, actually. And even at 3 too, his jumper's been really, really solid. His focus is. I'm just still astonished by his focus.
Yeah.
Like his ability to just lock in.
He's a total professional, complete professional.
He's like,
I mean,
The zero dark 23 stuff was kind of corny, like back in the day, whatever. He would like turn on all his socials, but
he would
lock it in for sure. And there's no player who, in this modern era, sort of embodies that ability more than LeBron James. So I mean,
it'll be fun to see him in the playoffs
again.
I don't know what's gonna happen if OKC. I think OKC is the best team. But who knows what happens after Warriors if they Warriors beat Rockets. But I mean, with Luka, they could do something.
for sure.
They really could.
For sure.
I think with the Lakers, obviously the Luka stuff speaks for itself, but just really impressed with JJ Redick on a night-to-night basis. He's had those guys ready to play every night, both from a schematic perspective. I mean, they're so prepared. They always have a plan, and their defensive when their defensive sort of effort level is there, they're difficult to deal with. The Lakers, I mean. So he's really impressed me this season, and I think when you give him, sort of mad scientist kind of energy, multiple nights to prepare for games, prepare for matchups, and make adjustments. I'm a sort of a believer in him, as a coach going forward. So, who knows? There's a lot of intrigue in the West, more than there is in the East, in my opinion. So,
I wish they had a big man.
That's sort of the next phase there, right? We'll see what happens this season.
Yeah, I wish they had a big man. But
they've made Jackson Hayes look, playable, right? So he's, Luka is the exact type of guy that's good for him, right? In terms of being a lob threat. He kind of still doesn't really know what's going on yet. But yeah, I mean that's the next phase for them in terms of roster building.
Okay, buddy. This was great. This was awesome. We'll do it. Let's do it again. If the Knicks make it to the Celtics series or something, we'll do another one. Yeah.
Love it.
Sounds good.
Be locked in.
Appreciate you, bro, as always.
Appreciate you, brother.
Hey, man. Be well.
Peace.
Thanks for being